Go.
Hi Charles, hi Jolene. Since as we're getting a little bit out of time, I figured probably easier if I just record it and send to you. This is my presentation. I sort of did it a bit bigger because with the block and the trees and everything, I found it really hard to try and do small. So yeah, it's on a slightly larger scale. So what I've done is I've got all our hardscapes, our building, patio, shed, etc. The red lines are the fences. We've got the ponds that have not quite got watered. They're not technically ponds yet, but anyway, they're a big hole in the ground. We've got our swales, and my dots, my green dots are trees, and the ones with the stripes are the deciduous trees. My green shading indicates a slope, quite a steep slope. And I've got the lay of the land with the arrows. These are my swales. They're the lumps, and underneath are the furrows, the green, the blue lines. I've marked out garden beds as well, so it's just got G if it's a garden bed or V if it's a veggie patch. And the red lines are fence lines. I can't remember if I said that. So yeah, so that's basically our house, and of course we've got our north, west, east, south, and sorry, I do have a scale down the bottom corner here, but I don't think you'll be able to see it in the video. But it's down in the left-hand corner as a scale. We've got trick houses, pig yards, woodshed, etc. So I think I've got everything in there. Anyway, that's the basic. Now, this is our property, the red line. Outside, these are trees that impact us, so I've included them. They're literally across the road, but they're like 35 metres high, which I have later. So they shade us, and the same as the ones down the other side as well. So even though they're not in the property, I've included them because they do impact on us. Cool. Alrighty, so my first overlay. Okay, so my first overlay, what I've included is the sector analysis. So we've got the winter, the summer sun, we've got where the different winds come from and the storms. I've also put over here, oh, hang on, I'm going to lean up here, does that work? Okay, down here it's storm front, that's where the storms come from. Don't know if you can see it, but down here it says fire front. Down here is the river, and it's a bank that comes straight up to our property. These other areas have got roads and less trees. But basically, so that's our fire front and our storm front. And what I've done here, our daily path. What I really noticed in doing our daily path is it's really quite seasonal, isn't it? So what would be daily in summer becomes weekly in winter. But, you know, good to note. So our solid blue lines are the daily paths, and that goes underneath the patio, you know, just around the house. And then of course got down where I go out the driveway, go for a walk with the dog, going to the woodshed, summer or winter, that's every day because woodshed's also garden shed. Coming to feed the chooks, going around to do the pigs, going to the animal feed. So yeah, another veggie patch. The dotted lines are really the, so that you're weekly, so it's those secondary paths. In summer, they might actually be every day or every second day, but come winter, they're once a week, once a fortnight. So again, they're not your everyday walk past you going to the car, going to work, and they increase and decrease predominantly with the season. So veggie patches, obviously winter will need, depending what you got in there, we might need water every day, whereas winter time we're probably only checking on them once a week. The sun is down here, we've got plants down here on the swales. Even though at the moment we're not needing to water them, the alpacas are down in that area, they're fenced off with a mobile electric fence, so we're still down there feeding the alpacas. So again, every couple of days. So I think that's everything I needed to put on there. So yeah, so that's that one. The next one is my zones. I don't know how well you can see it, but down here we've got zone 1, number 1. And this is out around the house, the clothesline, going up again to the animals, again the animals, and either wood or garden shed for stuff we need for animals' garden. So that's our zone 1. Zone 2 is the light blue area. That I really noticed again is predominantly seasonal. Summertime you're out there more, you're watering, you're just enjoying the garden, you're doing more around the place. We've got fruit trees here, so we're going around more and we're watering in summertime. In winter, we're out there, but we're probably doing different things. We're still checking on those, but we're moving the alpacas. We're weeding out some of the cape weed that is smothering some things. So I've really noticed that it might die down a little bit in winter, but you're still sort of hitting those same areas. So that's zone 2. Zone 3 is my nice green bits here. So those are areas we go into a bit more when we're tonkering around the yard around summertime and having a look and seeing what's going on, have those bulbs come up, how's that tree going. But we're not really hitting it for any other area, for any other reason apart from really enjoyment. Really helped me notice that we've got this really big zone 4. We don't do nothing with that. It's a lovely flat area, top of the block, close to the neighbours, probably why we typically keep away from it. It's going to be great to do something with, but it's also quite a way away from the water. It's also quite a way away from the house, from the shed. So even though it's probably some of the better using land, we're really not doing anything with it. So I've got a few ideas now that we've done that. So what else have I got on there? I think that's it. I think it's just zones on that one. Okay, so now I'm coming to my shaded areas. This took me a bit of doing. I had to find the calculation to work out how high a tree is, as to how much shade it throws. I've only done midday for each one. I'd really like to do morning and afternoon because obviously it throws, and when you've got big trees, those shadows really impact. So I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit more. I was having a little bit of trouble on how to work that out and how to put that in. So I've gone with, this is winter, and then I'll move on to summer. But I've marked the tree heights here of the big trees. So we've got like a 45-metre tree. I've put the canopy, so you can see it's a really spreading tree. 4-metre tree here, 10-metre. Some of these though, they've got a smaller circle, because even though they're fairly high, like this one, 10 metres, they're a sort of a spindly gum that don't throw that much shade, and really, of course they have an impact, but they're not a dense sort of thing like we've got here with this really big tree, or with these close plantings of trees that really impact. So predominantly for me, what I'm looking at the moment, this is our paddock and our home yard. We've got these 35-metre trees right across the road that pretty much go fairly dense across the road. Working out the calculation I found on the internet, and then with my scale, this is the impact that we're sort of seeing on those trees, pretty much in winter keeping the whole paddock in shade most of the day. And from observing that, yeah, pretty right. So we've got a 45-metre tree here, we've got 35-metre trees here. Over this side, we've got like a huge stand of 40-metre trees again. So really we're sort of seeing an all-day impact of, you know, sun coming up, hitting this tree, sun coming up, hitting these trees, sun going down, hitting these trees. So we have a lot of shade in winter. Like I said, I'd like to be able to map that better, but I do feel that it fairly crosses over, and what goes from one area comes to the other. And obviously we know this is summer moving across, morning moving across to winter. We can see that this tree casts a long shadow down here. We've got a couple of little trees down here. They don't cast too much of a shadow. Again, I've not included those. You can see I've included the house impact, the shed impact, nowhere as much as the trees. We've got this lovely area here. Though that I probably should have actually brought that shade down some more across there, because that does impact. Oops, mistake I need to fix before I see you. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much that I needed to tell you. Let's have a look. And now we've got summer. Okay, summer, again, I'd like to do the morning, midday, afternoon. By the way, I do have little legends here, up there, all saying what everything is, apart from the ones down the side here. So I don't know how well you can see that. No? What do you reckon?
Yeah, not terribly. Well, you can see it, but faintly.
All right. So you can see the summer. The shade from the tree is fairly minimal, and you can really see the difference here from the shade in winter to the shade in summer that these big trees give. Really not hitting much at all, and certainly can testify that in summer we're pretty baked. Except, and again, we come to the morning, midday, afternoon. In the afternoon, we get nice shade from these trees. So come 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's over here. Now, the reason I haven't included it is I'd like to touch base with you guys. We're on a slope, which I feel would impact the shadow as well. Actually, probably not from this direction, but probably from this direction, because the slope goes down. So that's something else I'd like to put in. Like again, I just would like to touch base with you guys to get my head around the morning, afternoon, not just the midday. I just don't feel like I'm understanding that very well, or whether I'm overthinking it, because I do that a lot as well. So not as much summer shade. Very minimal down here. It's only a small band. With the house, because of the way the land slopes and the patio, once you get to this side of the house, you're only really a metre and a half up, because you sort of dug into the back of the bank, so there's no shade there to speak of anyway. It's all under this patio. Yes, so like I said, there and there, and I need to reflect here, but I'm not sure how to do that, measure it out. I'm not sure how to measure it out. I've found there are calculations on how to calculate down from the shadow. I'm not sure how to calculate over. Yeah, I guess, okay, if I think about it, I can probably do that. My brain's starting to click. Okay, we'll see how we go and actually get to you if I've done that, or I'm going, yeah. So I think that's everything. Like I said, I've got my legend for my extra bits here and up the top there, but I don't know if you can see. So, like I said, I did it a bit bigger. I just found it way too hard to try and do small and try and include everything so that I could actually read it. There's a couple of computer programs that you guys talked about I'd really like to give a go, but life has been a little bit crazy, and I've got the fan bam living with me at the moment, and we'll get there. But would love to hear your feedback. I'm quite proud of it. I think I've done a reasonably good job for what I am starting out with. I do feel like I've learnt from this, different areas that we're neglecting, different things that we could do, really thinking about now that, different areas that we want to keep the alpacas in and out of without growing some berries on, wire runners. The thorny ones that they're not going to eat. They don't eat pumpkin. They don't eat, thorny berries like, I don't know, the one that we've got growing over the fence out the back, but I don't know what it's called. But you get my gist. So I'm really thinking now of how to use berries to really section things off, and at the same time get something productive from it, whereas, we've been using electric fence. Thanks.